Well, my thought was that if it's this easy to get an AI agent to delete all the code by simply putting one line in there, that seems a pretty
What are you
easy.
saying, Dan?
I'm saying
Oh
that
gosh.
the agents are really literal. I guess there were. I think there was a mention in the article about. Well, somebody mentioned that the participant called the move childish, while another one questioned its legality in some jurisdictions, like,
Yeah.
just like you said. Um, but the fact that it takes one sentence in a repo to get AI to just delete everything.
But I had an issue actually a few weeks ago. I was using Claude Code, and this is before they added their auto mode, which is auto mode. If you don't know, is it decides if the thing it was trying to do is reasonably safe, and then if so, it proceeds. So it like has a second double check on itself, I guess. And so before that, you could say, accept changes or not. You could invoke Claude with dash dash dangerously skip permissions, and dangerously skip permissions was the right answer most of the time because it was so annoying the rest of the time. If you had to answer a question every 9 seconds, it's not that productive. So I was using it with a dangerously skip permissions, and it nuked my database
What?
of my app of my yeah. I've been working on this app that is for kind of managing your media and social media stuff, and it deleted it. It didn't wasn't thinking it should delete it. It's like, okay, here's what happened. I wanted to be honest with you. I'm like, what do you mean? What are you being honest about? And what had happened is it was writing a test to test, even forget what it was, something, but the test operated on the same data space as my, we'll call it production, even though it's really just me testing currently, but it's testing with real things that I'm using. So it's production to me. And in the test, it starts by creating some stuff and then deletes clears the database and then adds some stuff and then checks to see if it's in there or something like that, like some kind of confirmation like that. But it did it
Okay.
on the real database. And then it's like, I can get back some of the stuff probably from here or there. Let me just see what I can do. And we were able to get much of it back.
How much how much time did it spend, or did you take recovering from that?
I didn't spend that much time. I mean, it was under an hour,
Okay.
because it was mostly like, well, I have a backup of it because I had copied it to my laptop to show you when we went for coffee, actually. Uh, so I had a backup from that, and then from since then there was a bunch of logs, and I had Claude go through into the logs and then put together what had happened, and then you know backfill the database things with the details. So I didn't get everything, but I got the vast majority, and it was probably kind of fine. But nonetheless, it did delete it. It's like you got a guy that's pretty smart and he can do a bunch of stuff, and he works quickly and pretty efficiently, and, but also he's kind of a bonehead, and sometimes spaces out on things that really are important and doesn't really get the whole picture of the business and how this might matter. Or so I started this project, which is on my GitHub, called macOS Agent Smith, which is a kind of a silly little project, but it's like an AI agent. You can connect, whatever AI you want to it. You can connect Claude or OpenAI, GPT, whatever, 5.5, or a bunch of open source ones like DeepSeek or GLM or any of them. But you can connect them all onto there, whichever one you want, configure it however you want. And my goal was like, well, can I get something similar to what I get out of Claude Code by using open source models and cheaper, lighter models? And my thought was I would break it down into actually three different models. Was going to have one that talks to you and basically just organizes tasks, and then one that does tasks, that has their work checked by the first one, and then a third one that is a safety check. And the safety check has been great on there. It's like sometimes, I mean, it slows things down because my models that I'm using are open source and they're not that fast. But the safety check thing sometimes has found things like, oh, the agent is going off in some other folder looking at crap that is irrelevant to the task, or it's trying to stop it's trying to kill this processes or something like that. Why is it trying to kill a process? Shouldn't need to do that. And some of it has been really good to see the things that have stopped. It stops. Like, I mean, haven't had anything like, oh, it was going to delete my world, but it definitely has done well to kind of keep it focused on, here are the things well, this is like a safe thing to do, but it doesn't match the user's intent. It doesn't match what the task was supposed to be. But I feel like, the main tool, like if you use Claude Code or Codex or one of these other ones, the main tool that it is using most of the time is running bash shell commands most of the time. Those are inherently pretty unsafe because you can type anything into a bash shell, right? You can say delete my computer or send all my files to China or anything, really anything. You can install software, it could run ls and cd to change directories and see what's in them. That should be safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you say, but then maybe it does ls, some folder, pipe to some other command that does something bad. So you have to oh, well, if we're going to watch it, we have to watch out for pipe somethings, and you have to watch out for redirects to files that are bad to overwrite, just a whole bunch of stuff like that. And it's really hard to get it well because you can make shells that call other shells that call other shells that get results back. I know if you've ever used Claude or one of these other agents, a lot of times what they like to do is they like to write to or to run a script. It basically is like, here, run this Python, and it'll put 200 lines of Python there, and it wants you to approve it. Or on their automatic thing now, it'll just approve it. But if you approve it, are you going to read the 200 lines of Python every time it sends it? No, you're not going to. No way. I think that's a matter of the tooling has to be better and stronger, and getting away from doing things like if it can do its whole world without running a shell command, that's great. And one of the things instructions I give to my little agent thing is if the shell command is sort of excessively complicated or hard to understand, just deny it.
Really?
Because it could try again with a simpler one.
Huh. So having 3 different agents where one checks the other, and that gives pause, and then it's kind of a think again or think deeper.
Yeah, and I forget the exact text, but it'll put a little piece sort of explaining its reasoning, saying, hey, this command was not allowed to run. And then it'll have a sentence or two just describing what it thought was the problem with it. Hey, this is, inherently not unsafe, but it also doesn't look relevant to the project, to the task at hand.